Okay. All right. Hmm. Okay. Ah. All right. Good. Good morning. Okay. Working on Substack. Check. And let's see here. Gonna check over on the YouTube quick before I, let's see, call it a win. Yeah, if you I do apologize if I found the first. I do apologize if this is your first time. If you've been checking it out for a while, you may know that I've been having some issues with my streaming ability of late, and just trying to figure out a way that I can here we are. All right. Awesome. Mute you. Okay. Hey. All right. This seems to be working all right. So, gonna copy that. Gonna bop on over to Patreon here. Let's see. And Patreon. Now let's equip. Let's see. Let's see. From the desktop frame. Live stream is on now. Exclamation mark. You coming? Question mark. Paste. Okay. Share. Share. I do need at some point to make a like live stream graphic of some kind to like paste up or what have you. To All right. On my to-do list. It's one of those things that is important but not urgent, unfortunately. So, okay, dude. And I'm gonna open the chat here. All right. Anybody? Good morning, Brooke. All right. I was actually just about to ask if you would be so kind as to drop me a comment to see whether or not what I was typing here is going through, or whether or not what you comment on, say, Substack or YouTube, is going through and appearing on the Riverside chat stream. So I am, right. So I'm back to using Riverside, and that is allowing me to cast to both Substack and YouTube, which is good. Which is good because Patreon is still being a pain and not getting back to me and not reinstalling my live watching ability. So I'm posting my YouTube stream to Patreon in an attempt to try to I'm posting my YouTube stream to Patreon in an attempt to include my good Patreon patrons so that they can participate, comment, and all that good stuff. So, okay. Yeah, all right, cool. All seems to be working. Unfortunately, comments do not seem to be showing up in Riverside, which means I feel obligated to keep Windows open so that if somebody does leave a comment or do a chat, I can, respond to them. Because that's like the entire point of this, right? Is to like hang out with my people and talk to them, get to know them, chat, all that good stuff. So yeah. So we're still trying to figure it out. Obviously, ideally, the best case scenario would be for Patreon to like reinstall my. Yeah, exactly. Brooke says it's much funner to get to comment and engage, and I mean that's like the entire point. I like look, I can sit here at home alone and talk to myself anytime. Let's see. Uh, right now, I get to sit here home alone and talk to you, and that's important to me. So, so yeah. So like I said, best case scenario would be Patreon getting back to me and reinstalling my live streaming abilities. So, but at this point, I'm not holding my breath on that, and like, what? Also wondering what the heck? Why are they? You know, right? So, what their deal is. So, unfortunately, yeah, this is where I'm at. So, if you are a Patreon patron, I do sincerely apologize, and as I am working on it as best I know how, and I will be getting that back. As soon as I get it back, I will be, of course, shouting it from the rooftops. So, please bear with me, and I appreciate your patience as I navigate the ever increasing labyrinth of AIs and chatbots and what have you. So anyway, but you didn't tune in to hear me grouse about my tech woes. You came here to hear me grouse about my drawing. So, without further ado, let's get back into it. So, yeah. Okay, we are almost done with the inking. So the other nice thing about doing the live streams and only working on this project during live streams is it actually gives y'all a a good idea of how long some of this stuff actually takes me. You know, it doesn't just happen overnight, right? It's a being not an AI art bot. I can't just plug in a prompt and have it poop me something out. I want to, this is real human art and such, and so I want to, share with you like the entire process and how long it is and how much time it takes. Because, yeah, I believe we've been at this for about 3 or 4 live stream sessions at this point, and at about 2 hours a pop. That, yeah, like that's easy math. It is, this is what six maybe 8 hours of work looks like right here. So usually when I'm by myself and not live streaming, I do go a little bit faster because I stop and talk to you guys, and I uh, like when I'm by myself, I don't stop to demonstrate a technique of some kind or another. I'm pretty dialed in, so maybe if I were by myself, I'd maybe be like a little further along at this much time in, but probably like maybe an hour further along max. I'm just guessing, a complete guesstimate. Can I still use that word? I don't know. A complete guess just based on, like, all right, how much time do I actually spend on Patreon, on a live stream? Actually stopping to talk to people and, explaining whatever technique or whatever thing that I'm doing. So, so that's how much it feels. That is how much it feels like. Rainbows and butterflies, those are my feels. I have not measured this in a proper scientific fashion. Yeah. Although, that's the world we live in these days. Ver the feels matter more than the facts. And the first person that tells you that facts don't care about their feelings are the most emotional people. Let's be real here. Anyway, so hope y'all have had a good week thus far. Let's see. And as always, if you want to chit chat, if you want to do whatever, please throw it up on the screen. If you have any questions about any little thing, don't hesitate to ask. If something's on your mind, like want to chat with somebody about it, that's cool too. What's been on your mind lately? I know it's been on my mind lately. I've actually, AI has been on my mind of late. I watched a video this week about, AI, it's the hot topic at the moment. It still remains the hot topic after like how many years has it been a thing? 20, let's see. Uh, yeah, 3 years at this point, maybe four. No, excuse me. No, 3 years, I think. Well, I mean, obviously, don't want to get into the whole, yeah, it's been developing for longer than that, obviously, yes, but it really became, a mainstream thing about 3 years ago, right? Anyway, and then, of course, ever since then, the discussion has been all about, like, what is the future of AI? And, is it going to take all of our jobs? Are we even going to have jobs in the future? I don't know. Let's see. Um, there's just so many issues to tackle it from, but one of the issues the video that I watched this week was focused on like, okay, is AI going to do the apocalypse? Like, if AI, quote unquote, escapes the lab? What is that going to mean for the future of humanity as a species? It posits all of these scenarios, and no, I am not going to post the link to it actually because I found them to be largely ridiculous. Um, and I found them largely to be ridiculous because they're talking about stuff like, okay, is AI going to wipe out the human species Terminator style? Is AI going to, look like keep us around as pets and stuff like that? And are we? Is AI just going to completely remove the need for any kind of work, and we're going to be in the human zoo, and there's going to be like the sports zoo and the hedonism zoo and um, the artist island kind of place, didn't sound too bad. But anyway, it's the point is it's positing all of these, possible futures or whatever. And the thing that I kept coming back to watching this video was that all of these are based on human stuff. Like humans desire to conquer for resources, humans need for power, for sex and money and whatever. But if a truly sapient and independent AI, artificial intelligence happens, it's not going to have the same motivations that you and I have. It's not going to have it's not going to care about money. It's not going to care about racism because race is inherently illogical. Race is not a real thing. It's a social construct, right? Um, Biologically, all humans are the same. So it's going to it's not going to need food. It's not going to need water. Like we don't know. We honestly don't know what its nations are going to be because whether people acknowledge it or not, everybody is an emotionally motivated being. Every human is an emotionally motivated being, and all of our wants, needs, desires, both the best and the worst of our behavior is based on our evolutionary history. Our need for like everything comes down to all human behavior essentially comes down to uh, uh, propagation, survival, and control. Right. Let's see. Hi, Gregory. You just joined in for the fun part of the conversation, right? Talking about AI and how when people discuss what AI is going to do in the future, it's going to, the people are always assigning human motivations to it, right? So, but here's the problem again. All of our human motivations are based in our emotions, our body chemistry, all of our decisions are based in our evolutionary history, our emotions, our psychology, our our need to propagate, control our environment, and survive and defend the tribe. Uh, okay, I would love to read The Monk and the Robot. Right. Um, so what we're but again, so AI is basically going to be devoid of all of we're not going to be able to understand AI's motivation when it does, if and when it does become self-sufficient and sapient and what have you. Um, because it's going to be it is going to be whatever humans would be, just completely devoid of material want or need. Like even just like little things like, okay, you're extra grouchy this morning because your blood sugar is low. So, whatever decision you made this morning because you're grouchy and your blood sugar is low, AI is not going to have that because it has neither blood nor sugar, obviously. So, the the idea that I find all of the ideas that like all of the arguments like, oh well, it's going to do to us what we have done to other lesser species or less technologically developed human peoples, that it's going to do all that to us is like, yeah, but all of those things were based in humans' desire to expand and conquer, and because again, taking it back to the evolutionary standpoint, that is how one of the ways that we competed for resources and propagated our species. AI isn't going to have that motivation because it doesn't need physical resources the way that we do. So again, so that is assigning human motivations to something that doesn't have, a human anything, frankly, perhaps a human parentage, right? So so like what my real concern is that they is that what I really find concerning is that it's the people who are in the AI world, people who are in the AI sphere and helping to usher in the new age of AI. Those are the people that are talking like that, right? Those are the people who are talking about things like, oh, it's going to be a colonizer, or oh, it's going to genocide, or oh, it's going to, keep us as, pets in a zoo as a curiosity. What worries me is that the people who are in charge of making AI happen are the ones that think that, and so it's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like it, you know what I mean? It's because they think those things, and because AI is, for the time being, very eager to please, very approval seeking. It's going to do those things because it thinks that that's what its creators want it to do, or that's what humans want it to do. And I have zero faith that the tech people have the self-awareness that it would require to be like, maybe I'm influencing this thing in some kind of way. Maybe it is in some kind of way picking up on what I want it to be, and is therefore telling me what I want. So that I think is the real danger of AI, is that it's going to be a self-fulfilling. It's like all of these dangers of AI are going to become self-fulfilling prophecies. That yeah, it's going to kill all humans because it thinks want, right? Isn't that messed up? So so yeah, I think, as I said, as always, the danger is not the tool itself; it's the people wielding it. And I think that is the thing that we should all, yeah, maybe. No, I mean, I don't know if worrying about it is the right thing, because worries about as useful as addressing problems as chewing bubblegum is useful to stop a train. But you know what I mean. Like that is the real concern. And frankly, although I do have hope, I do feel like the upcoming generation has a better appreciation for things like mental health and getting outside and getting away from technology writ large. As a father myself, I make sure my kids know to put down the screens and go outside and have adventures and stuff. So, and I very intentionally limit their access to some stuff. Let's see. Let's see if I get my way, they'll never do social media because right, unless it's for business of some kind. So that's pretty much the only reason why I'm on social media anymore is because uh, well, lets me talk to you fine folks, and gets me and helps me advertise and put out my work. If I wasn't doing this professionally, I think I'd probably just delete my social media accounts. Let's see. What else? Now I gotta be careful, but now I gotta worry because maybe the algorithm heard me. Alright. Okay. I am bringing it back to art for the moment. I have more art AI thoughts, but something more direct here. I am actually feeling a little stiff. Let's see. When I get into the zone, like the lines just come, and like it. And they just like kind of lay them down and I don't need to think about it and I can get completely into the zone and not have to think about it, but at the moment I'm just you probably can't see this but I'm just feeling a little stiff, like the lines aren't landing the way I want them to. So I'm going to do just I don't usually have to do this, not to brag. I don't usually have to do this, but I am going to just take a moment to do a little bit of warm up. So I hope you'll bear with me. And I'm going to do that by, I kind of touched on this briefly last time, is just drawing some of the lightest lines I possibly can, and then kind of creating a gradient up to the uh, thickest lines I can make. There we go. All right. And the point of this is to kind of get, foster that brain muscle connection. And I'm just trying to see how, like, what is. All right. And trying to foster this brain muscle connection, mind to muscle connection. And just kind of, all right. Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah, right now I'm just trying to do the lightest possible lines I can. And so it's kind of the same way that if you're a vocal singer, uh, as opposed to a I don't as opposed to an armpit singer, I don't know. Anyway, like that, it's one of those ways if you're like you warm up your voice to kind of get it into the range and warm up and so it doesn't sound strained and stuff like that. So you go to like the high end and then you go to the low end of what your voice does naturally. And so yeah, and so in the same kind of idea, just going here to the light end. I'm gonna warm up with some of the just moving my arm around because again this is like yeah, this is the lever that it all rides on. This is the lever that's all dependent on. Your arm's a machine. And so yeah, so I'm just trying to move it around here and just doing that and okay, all right, and then here I'm going up to the high range. All right, boom, boom, boom. Okay. With that done, thank you for your patience and your indulgence. With that done, I'm ready to get back to it. And I think I'll feel a little bit better. So on this side, our cowboy needed a gun. Like he has a big rifle-y thingy on his back, so I'm going to make sure that's there. I didn't think last time. So I'm going to make sure that happens. And so there you go. As you can see, now I'm feeling much more comfortable moving from the thin line to the thick line uh, in just my inking. There you go. So yeah, if your work is particularly line heavy, I definitely recommend giving that a shot. Or if you do a lot of line work in your artwork, rather, I should say. So yes, I did. That's right, and I did want to thicken up these lines of this guy right here, just because that's feeling a little These lines are feeling a little weak compared to the rest of the general hierarchy. Because again, that's what you want to focus on when you're doing your arts is the hierarchy of line. Again, with your line work. Although hierarchy in general, when you're doing artwork, is important to be mindful of. That is why your eyeballs go to certain places and look at certain things when you're looking at a artwork. Creating. Let's see. Where was I? I was going on a rant. Greetings, Liz from SF. I hope your day is going well. It is. It's absolutely gorgeous here in the great city of St. Paul, Minnesota. It is a lovely spring day. A crabapple tree is going bananas with flower babies, and yeah, and the sun is out, and yeah, it's that time of year when you didn't realize how much you missed getting outside until you actually do. So let's see, where was I? Ah, yes. I, actually, I'm going to take a moment to pull up. Excuse me if you can't see me for a minute. There you go. Excuse me. I'm gonna take some time to pull up my reference. Thinking chin. Here we are. Preview. All right. In case you also need a refresher, I'm working on all these characters from my good friend Ezekiel of the Metaverse. Our metaverse, his metaverse, we're still not sure, but let's see. So right now I'm working on this cool robot dude. So and then just having the reference up helps me hone in on all the little details that I may have missed, or that I may have just glossed over during the sketch phase, just because it's the sketch phase and that's not really super important to see or include during that. So, excuse me, I'm gonna pull that back up. Yeah, hello. All right, so let's see. Since we're on the topic of AI, the other AI think piece, and that's kind of the funny thing is there's so many dumb, uh, quote unquote think pieces for AI that's just like, nah, that's silly. Uh, yeah, let's see. One of the other thing pieces I watched for AI this weekend was, all right. Before I do that, I'm going to show you how to do a quick secondary line within a primary line. So here, as you can see, this, he's got this little chevron dragon footprint shaped thing in his head, and it's got this kind of little line on the inside here, of the arrowhead. So in order to do that, here's a quick and easy way to do that when you come across it. So do that. So select with your wand tool the inside there. Gonna contract it, let's say 5 pixels or so. Gonna hit the fill button. Gonna contract the selection again, and oh, look at that. Bada bing bang. Hit the delete key, and then bada bing bang boom. Hey, easy peasy. And like so much easier than trying to like just trace the whole thing, right. So anyway, the yes, where was I? Yes, it was AI art, and it was just this whole think piece about like how AI art misses the mark and and why artists are railing against AI art instead of embracing it as a tool. And it's kind of like, well, first of all, duh, you trained this thing on uh, the work of artists without, actually compensate on artists' intellectual property without actually compensating them for it. Yeah, it's like what did you think was going to happen? Again, and this all comes back to these like tech guys just not seeming to have a fundamental understanding of human nature and like but or the self-awareness to realize that maybe I don't have a good understanding of human nature. So anyway, but yeah, so the think piece was I use the word think in quotation marks. The think piece was about like, oh no, artists don't make art because they want to have art that they made. Artists make art because they enjoy the act of making art. And I'm sitting there like, no, I don't know. It's my live stream. I'll swear on it. No fucking shit, Sherlock. Artists, yeah, yeah. Like I do this because I like the act of drawing. I don't want to like having drawn is nice and it is cool and it is kind of fun and cool to have this body of work to point to. But I didn't get good at this because I wanted to have a big body of work. I got good at making art because I enjoy making art. And the enjoyment of it, the act of doing it is enjoyable to me, and and the process, it's the process that I enjoy, and that is exactly why I do it. That's how I got good. It all comes back to that. The reason I have a giant, back catalog of work that I've done, like literally thousands of drawings over the course of my 20 years, the reason that I've gotten as good as I am, the reason I've gotten good, such as I am, the reason that I continue to do it is not because like those things in and of themselves. It's just because I like doing it and I got good at it. Like that's the same for like athletes. Nobody plays baseball. I hope nobody plays baseball because they feel like they ought to play baseball. No, people play baseball because they like to play baseball. And then the people that become baseball professionals are like are there because when they were a kid, that's just what they always loved doing. They lived, breathed, and ate baseball. Don't eat baseballs. That's bad. Let's say it. So it is, yeah. But anyway, yeah, same idea. Uh, so it's just kind of like yeah, I got into art because I want to make art. I didn't get into art so that somebody else could make art for me. If you want a route to actually give me a tool that would help me make art, or that I could use, give me tools to help attract an audience that will help give me tools to help attract potential Patreon patrons, give me tools that will do my books for me or do the marketing aspects, give me tools that will help me do all of the parts of having an art business that I don't want to do, right? As free me up to make more art. Anyway, is it? Yeah. uh, Yeah, so just like the fact that there was research done on this, the fact that this was that this was, some big revelation to people, just had me left there being like, just left me sitting there thinking, no, duh. Like, hey, ask any musician, ask any creative person, like they could have told you that. You didn't need to spend I don't even know how much money you spent on figuring that out, but it was a waste. Because just talking to anybody could have told you that. Uh, so, all right. Rant over. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Let's see. Brooke says, I think the artists know that we are in it for the process, but I think the people outside of the craft sometimes don't understand that. Well, and yeah, I'm kind of and of course, the classic, I want AI to do my laundry and clean my house, so I have time to make art. I don't want to AI to make art, so I have time to uh, do my laundry and clean the house. Like that's bass backwards. So anyway, yeah. But then there's a whole other side to it as well. Like, they are the stated purpose of AI is not actually to make make your lives or mine better. The stated purpose of AI is to uh, is to make it so that the business owners, the sorry, I'm going to go there. The the bourgeoisie, so that the bourgeoisie no longer has to hire the proletariat. So, it's all right. We're getting communist up in here. All right. I hope that's okay. I'm gonna gonna espouse some opinions. But yes, it's so the people that own the business don't have to pay the people that actually work at and operate the business. Is the short answer here. So, and again, that's not conspiracy or anything like that. That is the stated goal here. Mm, so, anyway, all this is to say, and hey, if you like AI stuff, I don't even what I don't even hold it against you. I want to be clear about that. Just uh, I think there's some issues with it. I think we need to. I think there's some issues that need to be addressed with it. Obviously, I think there's the whole how much energy it takes is definitely one of those issues. Although I don't necessarily think that is in of itself a bad thing if it leads to us solving our energy crisis needs. So that is one of those things where like okay, here's me. I see natural alliances. I look for what that is just my nature. I see ways for people to connect, and like this. Like I see reasons why people should be allies. So it seems to me that there's an allyship to be had between the tech bros who want AI and also want all of this energy and electricity and all this kind of stuff, and the clean green energy people, because like, look, you need energy, you need you need more energy than coal by itself can produce, or our current infrastructure by itself can produce. If you in invest yeah, invest in clean energy, and sustainable energy, like that seems like a natural allyship that could happen there. But what do I know? As a Unfortunately, we seem to have lost the idea that cooperation is a value, not a not cooperation is a good thing. That we should find alliances, that we should find ways to work together to meet everyone's needs. But apparently we live in an age in which cooperation and compromise is a dirty word. Anyway, rant over. How y'all doing? I'm sorry. You guys tuned in to watch some art happen, not for like an old man shouting at clouds or whatever. So anyway, so yeah, let's see what else is going on. Let's see what's going on in pop culture news. I honestly don't know. Like my algorithm is broken, or maybe it's not giving me the stuff that I'm interested in anymore. Like I mean, I want to know what movies are coming out. I want to know what I want to know what movies are coming out. I want to know like what I want to know. I want nerd news, not like. I mean, I want like the real news. I do want to keep up with what's going on. Because if the world's coming to an end, I at least want a front row seat. I want to be able to see it coming. But I I want more nerd news. Let's see. What did I hear about? Gosh. Anyway, I'm flailing. I am flailing at the moment. So, If anybody has any nerdy news, please throw it up there. Is anybody yeah, if you're gonna go see the He-Man movie, uh if you're interested in seeing the He-Man movie, let me know. And I have questions because did you have a strong associate did you enjoy He-Man when you were a kid? I mean, obviously if you want to go see the He-Man movie, uh I'm assuming that's a yes, but I meant more like, okay, why does He-Man appeal to you? Is it purely nostalgia factor, or is it like, I don't know. I mean, like I've seen the trailer. Looks like it might be fun. That's one of those things I'd like go check out if like I had nothing better to do, or like, I'm curious about it. Like, I could, I'm kind of on the fence. I could be talked into it. Like, like if the reviews came out and they're like, "Oh my God, this is as good as the Barbie movie," you know, like, and I'm kind of hoping that they do something like that. I'm kind of hoping that they take it in some kind of direction that's like actually, oh my God, kind of brilliant. Because I absolutely love it when, uh, I love it when properties do that. I love it when stuff surprises me, or like the Lego movie, where this by all rights should have been some dumb, advertisement for Legos, but no, they actually made it a creative think piece that is simultaneously a criticism of uh, simultaneously a criticism of adventure stories here and escapist hero narratives, but also a case for why we need escapism and hero narratives. So yeah, like of course the Barbie movie, which is, taking a property much criticized by the feminist circles and making it a giving it a feminist message. Thought that was brilliant. Yeah. So like I love it when stuff does that. I love it when stuff, rises to the occasion and becomes more than the sum of its parts. So I'm hoping that's, what He-Man is going to do. But I'm going to wait and see until somebody tells me that that's what it does. So, and I'm afraid I'm not really in a hurry to go check it out otherwise. Now, I remember, I remember I was studying abroad in Japan, and I saw a movie poster and for like this movie that was coming out, and I'm like, wow, uh, coming out the next summer, and I'm like, wow, Disney, Disney's making Disney's making movies based on their rides now. Yeah, they must really be struggling. Like, who's gonna go to the theaters and see Pirates of the Caribbean? Like, shows what I know. Let's see. So yeah, all this is to say, I do hope. I'm rooting for He-Man. I don't know, and I don't know why I'm rooting for He-Man either. Is the other interesting thing. Like I maybe I just want good art. I just want good art in the world. That's where I'm gonna land. I think I'm. Oh, okay. So what if you're gonna give He-Man a thoughtful, under the radar message? What would you give it, folk, folk, folks at home? Let's say if you were going to write He-Man, what would or if you were going to give He-Man if you were going to make a He-Man movie and like the studio wanted you to have like kind of a under the radar societal meaning message, what have you, significance, what would you do? I know what I would do, but but I like hearing your guys' ideas because personally, if it were me, I would make it a metaphor for the current. I would give it some metaphor for the current nostalgia movement, or like, well, current nostalgia movement isn't exactly accurate because we like I mean most everything that's been put out for the last 20 years has been nothing but nostalgia, so but anyway, yeah, that's kind of what I would do. I'd be like, nostalgia's great, and I got things from my childhood that I love as well. But sometimes maybe it's time to, put away childish things and grow up a little bit, uh, uh, and yeah, just to move on. And it's okay to have loved this thing when you were a kid, but gotta gotta address the problems of the world and meet the world where it's at, and not try to escape into a mythical past that maybe was not nearly as simple as you wanted wanted to that you thought it was when you were, a kid. And that's okay. That's normal and healthy and natural. Maybe I'm expecting a lot from He-Man. But again, like I said, that's me. I try to see the potential in things. Or I say, well, I don't really try, I just kind of naturally do. And I'm always disappointed. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Well, half kidding. I'm disappointed as often as not. I don't think that was better. Yeah. Anyway, I even made the pop culture He-Man conversation depressing. Good for me. Anyway, so I'm drawing a giant robot. Check it out. He's got knuckles, and I made this little cylinder joint with his knuckles, and it's cool. All right, so down here, yeah, so yeah, just made a little wheel kind of thing for his knuckler knuckles, and boop boop boop. Hmm. Doot doot doot. I need to find a way. There we go. There we go. Copy paste in action, kids. Uh, I do need to find a way to so that other artists can live stream with me. So like I really would like to find a way so that like we could have like a drawing morning. Like, come on, hang out, and you get two for the price of one. And we can like double could right? Yeah, I mean we could like cast it to both of our, followerships, and yeah, cast it to both of our followerships and both of our platforms, and just hang out, and it'd be a great way to like kind of compare and contrast and jam about art styles and just whatever thing of the day is. It would also give me someone to talk to because as entertaining as it is, as entertaining as I'm sure it is to see me talk to myself like a crazy person, I think it would be more entertaining to have another art pal on. Hmm. Need to look into that. I need to tap some of my more tech and internet savvy friends. To see if there's a way I can set that up. Let's see. So, love to get Seamus on. Yeah, my pal Seamus from art school. Also a comic creator. SB Burke Online, by the way. Give him a look up. But yeah, never run out of stuff to talk with him about. Let's see. What was I? Excuse me one moment, kids. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So we all heard like the whole synesthesia thing, like how some people can like visualize an apple, and some people can't, or they just think of the word. You say apple, and they just think of the word apple, and not like yeah. Hmm. Hey, Devin, how you doing? Happy Friday to you. Hope the universe is treating you well. And let's see. TGIF indeed. You doing anything fun this weekend? Uh, trying to look. And let's see. I have a weekend without my kids that I'm looking forward to. No real plans, just you know, going to other than to yeah, other than to somehow simultaneously relax and get stuff done. Right. One of these days, I'm going to write a book about how to relax productively. So yeah, let's see. Right. story of my life. All right. So as you can see, again, because of the symmetry here, I've copy pasted this arm and flipped it horizontally. So kind of create this. There you go. So now just need to place it, make sure it's correct. And now, but you also want to be careful because you don't want to merge it with the parts of the drawing that where lines overlaps, because that's a pain in the butt and a headache that I've had to deal with in the past. So, okay, so I'm going to turn off the arms layer, the body of the robot. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to select outside the. I'm going to select the negative space around the characters that we've drawn so far. We're going to inverse that selection. I'm going to turn that layer back on. Then we're going to hit clear. We want to make sure that we're on the right layer first. And then we're going to hit clear. There you go. Bada bing bang boom. So, took care of that quite nicely. Now we are going to go back and connect all the lines and resolve all of these little bits here that didn't quite line up perfectly. That. Here, over here on the side of the cowboy hat. How to tell if you're in modern times or cowboy times. Starting to feel like we're getting into cowboy times a little bit, but that's another conversation. I've ranted and raved about society enough this live stream already. Okay. TLDR, society's to blame, blah, blah, blah. Got his little shoulder thing there. And then see, I think this looks like a remnant of the side of his robot lateral muscle. Boop. Lateralis. Again, I always know what the muscles look like. I just always forget their names. Let's see. So, and I'm not entirely sure if lateral is the name of this back muscle here, or if that was the name of a '90s metal band that I was a fan of. It's rough. Yeah, Dan says, "I'm sorry, I missed the societal rant." I was like, "Are you? Nah, you might be better off, actually." But I appreciate you saying so. Yes, gearing up to go to the Bourbon City Steam convention in Louisville, Kentucky, next weekend. So yes, it is not. So yes, I'm appreciating getting a recoup, and perhaps a prep weekend before I have to drive down there. I'm gonna come back talking like Foghorn Leghorn, y'all. Latissimus Dorsey. I was counting down the seconds before Brooke popped in with that one. Let's see. Latissimus also sounds like a metal band I may have enjoyed in the 90s. No, I think that would have been more early 2000s. Anyway, home stretch, kids. We've got just these two figures left here. So, and do gotta put anatomy education to use when I can. That's right. Be like a awesome martial artist who knows like exactly where to poke everybody. All right, so now we're doing these two characters here. Cool. Speaking of being super 90s early 2000, right? Yep. That was not what I wanted to do. Boop. No damage done. Alrighty. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Ooh. Here's a look at the whole thing. Whoa, up close and personal. Cool, huh? All right. All right. Let's get started on this lady. So she's a little further in back, so I'm going to use a smaller brush than I usually do. Uh-huh. Hair's pretty easy. Just got to hit these kind of. Just kind of got to make all of the defining lines kind of go towards the the place where the from whence the hair emanates. I hope that makes sense. So, for instance, here, like this is like kind of like their part in the middle here. So we're gonna make this one go from there. Again, this is where that hierarchy of line really comes in handy because you want the defining lines, or these little interior detail lines, to be very light. Because, and I didn't know if you know but hair is thin. Ooh, right. You came for the wisdom, I know. Let's see. So, let's see. I'm still taking suggestions, by the way, for specific things that people would like to see me draw, like, and whether or not, or would like specific drawing lessons on. So stuff like hands, feet, ears, eyes, swords, fire hydrants. I don't know. Is this something that there's an interest in seeing me draw or doing specialized tutorial videos in how to draw this, that, or the other thing? And if you have suggestions for specific things you'd like to see me draw, please throw them up. All right, shoot. I don't like the way her hair looks there, so it looks like she had a boo font. So I'm just going to use the transform tool to kind of warp all of these lines here. Bring it a little bit more into line so it looks more like a, I don't know what you call that. I don't know. Again, don't know the names of things, but I don't know the names of things. I just know how to draw them. So I think, is that a flow? I think that's a flow. It's essentially the same haircut that the dude from Supernatural had for a bajillion seasons. Or rather, I should say, it just kept getting longer. Color. And alright. And since this character Then comes about, just enjoy seeing art come to life. Well, you know what? And that's legit as well. That's part of why I do this. Because I'm told it's what is it? What is it that kids are saying these days? Oddly satisfying. See, I don't even know if kids are still saying that these days. And yeah, you're right, it is. I mean, we were talking earlier that yeah, this is like the reason that I make the reason why artists don't care for AI art is because we want to be the one we want to make the art. We enjoy the process of making the art. You know, uh, like we don't want other people to make it for us. We want to do the making. Let's see. How was it? Yeah, no. It's funny because I go through my archives every once in a while, and I look at and I find stuff that I totally forgot about I had drawn, you know, and be like, oh hey that thing, all right, you know, the thing I drew like 20 years ago or whatever, and just completely forgot about it. Like, hey, that wasn't half bad actually. So yeah, but that's kind of an example of yeah, like if having an art that I drew was important to me, I would have completely, you know, forgotten about it. Right? Yeah, yeah. And that was kind of one of the Devin says, "Don't get me started on the plagiarism machine using all the water." So that is one of the things that I was ranting about earlier. Is yeah, like I do actually feel like there's like an allyship that could happen here between environmental and green energy causes and groups and uh, the AI tech bro got crowd. And like I feel like the middle ground here is like, hey, you guys need a lot of energy. We want clean energy. Let's you know, like find a way to generate lots of clean energy for, you know, your crazy plagiarism machine. Uh, but but whatever. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the way other people's brains work. All right. Yeah. So this is one of the things here where we kind of come back to the reduction of information at this distance because this character is kind of further away. We can really reduce her nose to just being more or less like kind of it's basically like a check mark, only backwards. Or you know, you can even go low as minimalistic as just to have it like be a kind of a upside down triangle. So let's see. Here's your eye lesson for the day. Heavy line on top, lighter lighter line on the underneath, and then just a little fill in the just a little circle with a little in the middle with a little bit of white showing through because that looks like the eye reflection. So, dude. And yeah, as for the oh yeah, and as for the plagiarism part of stuff, like I wonder I wonder if artists would be more open to it. I say I'm curious. I'm curious. I ask myself sometimes, like, would I opt in to having AI sample my stuff if I got like a kickback for it? Like, if I got like a, as I if they came out like a kind of a Spotify situation where every time your art is sampled, you get a penny or something like that. Like, would I be more open to that? And the honest answer is I don't have an answer. I mean, sure, potential revenue stream, potentially getting credited for at least getting credited for the work. But from what I hear from folks in the music industry, Spotify has actually made that kind of a has made the music industry kind of worse. Well, worse in some ways and better in others, because yeah, it's provided a way for art indie artists to get discovered, another outlet for indie artists to get discovered. But it's also, made it, kind of hard to develop a musical career, so, or make a living in the musical industry. So, eh, I would at least feel better. I would at least feel better that artists are getting compensated in some kind of way. Uh, I would at least feel better that artists are getting compensated in some kind of way for what they're doing and recognized for, as opposed to, not we're just gonna take whatever you put off the internet and forget you anyway. Well, let's see. And I want to be clear, I'm not inherently anti-AI. With AI's curing cancer and folding proteins or whatever, and coming up with uh, when it again, if AI is a tool, sure, great. But what it always comes down to is how a tool is being used. If a tool, and that is what makes it good or bad. Like, a knife is a tool, and a knife can be used to uh, a knife can be used to cook a meal, or it can be used to stab somebody. A hammer can be used to build a house, or it can be used to, beat somebody's head in. What makes a tool what makes it good or bad is how it is being used. Uh, and right now, it's primarily being used to, again, enrich rich people, and that's an Oguda. There you go. You you want to impress me, AI? You want to impress me? Find a way to solve the housing crisis. That's it. Come up with a way to create affordable. I don't know why I'm getting a New York accent here, but you want to impress me, AI? Come up with a way to create affordable housing for people that don't have any. You want to impress me, AI? I'm pretty sure AI doesn't want to impress me. This this particular live stream is getting a lot more topical than I'm than usual. I just want to say, like I said, just AI was on my mind today, and I got space to rant, about it. So, anyway, what I should be doing is talking about how the heck I make this kind of cool shiny leather effect here. And it's well said. Fair enough. When I said Devin says, well said. Fair enough. When I say plagiarism machine, I'm specifically referring to generative AI. Yeah, yeah, and and fine. Yeah, I agree. And I generally, I generally understood. So it's it's one of those like language. Language is dumb, says the writer. Language is hard and dumb. Why would anybody do that? Mostly, I'm just. Let me be clear. Mostly, I'm just kind of covering my ass because I don't like offending people, and also I prefer nuanced conversation to like absolutism. Seems to be a rarity these days. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to. I should be talking. What I should be talking about is how to create this kind of sheen that I'm doing here for this gal's pleather outfit. Let's see. So really, it all comes down to defining the outline of the outfit here, and then just kind of creating these. What do I even want to call them? Kind of whirly bits. So I'm gonna do a faint line up here, and then kind of this little zigzag here, and then like really lean on the brush to create this fat bit down here. And you kind of do that along the edges, kind of come up, come, kind of, and then maybe one on the other side too. And then as you can see, it kind of creates this, what do I want to say? Kind of creates this effect where it like looks like it's shiny vinyl leather, shiny material, right? There you go. And then maybe a little bit of this wing up here. Again, it is funny doing live streams because I realize that I do stuff that I don't necessarily have language for or no words for. So yeah. So then I'm going to define her foot down here. I hereby declare these to be whirly bobbles. So there you go. Mm, eh. So I'm gonna put another little whirly bobble down here. A dew whacker. There we go. And that's it. Yes, because only a Sith deals in absolutes, and that's why I don't like absolutist language generally. Anyway, all right. So her other leg down here, and on the other side here, knee. Other side of the knee, kneecap. Me. Mm-hmm. And then I got a boot on the far side here. And then again, another little thick line on that side, and a thin line that kind of expands and grows bigger on the other side. And then there you go. More whirly bobbles. And then looking for to define the underside of or the back side of her leg on the far side. She's got these kind of shorts actually. So, all right. Oh, noticing a mistake I made based on the reference photo that I have here. So she's wearing much shorter shorts than I previously had thought. So, and to tackle that, I'm just going to crank up the size of my brush here and just kind of do. Okay, here's the gun strap on the other side. She's got kind of this Lara Crofty gun holster thingies going on. So, there we go. All right, boop, boop, boop. All right. Underside of the bicep, far side of the forearm. There we go. And just a little nubbins end of her gun on the other side here. Boop. All right. And this little thingy here, and longtime viewers will know I don't know guns. That, and then it's one of those things I should probably look into, you know, as a comic artist. There we go. Ta-da! Gun! Alright, last gal over here. Okie dokie. This is going to be a milestone, guys. We're coming to the end of the inking phase. Isn't that exciting? So let's see, I do try to pick up, whenever I do other people's characters, I do try to pick up on kind of like implied features of the characters, and just kind of like what the character looks like, and kind of like what the artist intended the other character to look like. So this lady over here has longer features, like this. So get my reference. Wee. So as you can see, she seems to have a rounder face, whereas she kind of seems to have a more elongated face, or more ovular. There you go. So I'm kind of trying to reflect that in the drawing, or my version. I usually try to think of commissions as, or drawing other people's characters as my version of that. So like, it's like doing a cover of a, it's like doing a cover of a song. It's like, if I wrote this song, how would I have made it happen? And then sometimes you come up with some really interesting results, just like with musical covers. Now here I'm going to actually try to make her eye a little bit. Okay. Okay. Excuse me, thinking. I'm going to try a little bit to include a little bit more space between her eye, the top of her eyelid, and the top of her eyebrow. Because I want to include a little bit of eyelid, the top side of her eyelid here, for a little bit more of a bedroom eye look. Or half closed eye. Ah, that was horrible. Alright, there we go. And here's her. Okay, so there's her actual pupil, iris thing. Her. Clean that up over. And like that eye, that eye that's furthest away from the camera on a 3/4 view is always just the trickiest. Because it kind. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna erase it and start over. See, even the pros goof. So And I think part of the problem here is that the eye that is closest to the camera is a little bit too close to the nose, and that's making the whole thing look goofy. So I'm actually going to take my transformer thing here and my transform tool and move it that away. There you go. Okay, that looks better. All right. What's going on over here? All right. Let's see. All right. All right. All right. And let's see. Then we got the hair over here. We got some Farrah Fawcett there going, so we're gonna kind of create some floof. And this is another one of those situations again where remember the hair. Where the hair kind of like emanates from certain points. So you kind of want to make all your defining lines kind of generally come back to that point. So we've got Farrah hair. Mm-hmm. There we go. And for like the bangs, bangs part of it, I'm gonna do these kind of again these defining lines, these striations that kind of create the illusion, the look of hair direction. All right. So she's got this kind of wild open chest bikini thing going on here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never appreciated the plight of women's clothes quite so much since I became the father of daughters, and I've had to kind of, I haven't even really gotten into it just yet, but just trying to help them put on, swimsuits like you do. It's kind of like, and trying to figure out like how you put stuff on in the back straps, and they're like, yeah, navigate the straps on their backs and stuff like that. It's kind of like, how does this work? Why did people decide that this was the way to do things? So, yeah. So, wait. So, ladies, hear you and I sympathize, and I don't know. I don't know why anybody would do it this way. It's ridiculous. I also don't know why. I also don't know why anybody would wear an outfit. Well, I mean, make people wear an outfit like this because it makes them feel sexy, I guess. But I don't know. Humans do a lot of stuff for a lot of reasons, is what I'm saying. Try to wrestle out of sports bra for working. Yeah. I can't say I have tried to wrestle out of a sports bra. Uh, after a workout, gonna right. Maybe when I'm older. There you go. Hmm. All right. All right. We're getting coming down to it. Leg, knee. Knees are weird too. Like everybody, like feet, hands, heads get a lot of. Yeah, I got one that zips in the front. Game changer. There you go. There's advice right there. But yeah, feet and hands and heads and all that kind of stuff get a lot of attention for being difficult to draw. But personally, I'm always like knees. Knees are my like what knees? What's up with those anyway? Yeah, there you go. There you go. Sports bra that zips in the front. Makes sense to me. Now, if you throw in pockets, oh well, then we'll have solved all the problems. Yeah, there you go. Sports bra with the zipper and pockets. I mean, see, should have. Guess I'm giving up this life of comic books and I'm going into into women's fashion design. Okay. And heels. Mm, Also, other thing I hate drawing is shoes. I mean, I can draw some shoes, but it's not even feet that bothers me. It's more like just shoes. And and apparently, women's clothing is also becoming a theme for the for today's live stream. Because yeah, women's shoes are also kind of weird sometimes. Ladies, tell me about. No, I'm kidding. Uh, no, yeah, I've had sympathy ever since, like, high school. Ever since high school, and like the dances, the homecomings, the proms, and all that kind of stuff. Like the first thing that every girl in my friend group did when they actually got to the dance was take their shoes off. There's always a big pile of ladies' shoes in the corner, and I was for years I've been thinking, for decades I've been thinking, like whoever invents like if a lady's shoe that is both fancy and comfortable is just gonna make a mint. All right. Okay. Uh-huh. There you go. There you go, ladies shoe designers. Get on that. Make make a fashionable women's shoe that you can also run a marathon in. I am a fan of form meeting function. All right, guys, we have a milestone here. We are done with the inking stage. Yay! All right, there you go. Also, I want to wear high heels. Let's see. And that took a turn, didn't it? No. Let's see. So, my ex-wife and I had the same shoe size. She was a taller lady, and I really actually kind of enjoyed wearing her big, thick wedge heels around the house because of like I'm like 6 feet tall, just normally, but wearing her heels around, I was like, oh crap, now I'm tall and like now I'm like 6'3", 6'4", and yeah, I was like, this is kind of fun actually. So, here's my this is my request for men's shoes. Like, bring back it being fashionable for men to wear heels. God dang it. Let's see. All right. But yes, done with the inking stage. Now you. All right. Let's be done with my my weird proclivities, and let's move on to the. Now that we're done with the inking stage, we can move on to the flatting stage. So this is where I like to add in flat. We just go through and add in flat colors. So let's see. So I am going to take my paint bucket tool here, which traditionally in past iterations of our programs, you didn't usually want to use your paint bucket tool because it kind of created, how shall I say this? There was always this little fringing effect that happened around the edges. I'm gonna just zoom in here quick while I'm talking and fix some of the hands here. But yeah, so the art program wouldn't take the flat color all the way to the edge of the art. There'd just be like this little, maybe one half pixel thickness kind of white fringe around the edge of where the color met the line work. So we are going to, but let's
So more recent more recent iterations of art programs have been better about that. So we're just going to so taking my paint bucket, just plopping colors down in places where you know, where each color goes. So I'm going through, and let's see. Still not perfect, as you can see when we get in here. Um, and you get in close. So it's pretty good. Not seeing any fringing. Gonna turn off that just to be on the safe side. You can kind of see. All right, turn that off. All right. So there's not a lot of overlap happening, but you can also see that there's not a lot, none of that fringing stuff that I was talking about. Still got to go around and like patch things up because I'm gonna get in real tight here. As you can see, don't know if you can see this in the on the live stream, but some in the corners here, in some of these sharper corners, there's a little blotch of white, or like there's a couple pixels of white, and that's we're gonna go through whenever we use a paint bucket. We go through and we're gonna just clean those up because with our brush tool, because you know, like it doesn't look like much on the screen. It can be easy to miss, but it does show up when you take it to print, and we want to avoid that. So, just because we're being diligent. All right, so uh, paint bucket, boop boop. It's hat, and let's see. I want to do kind of a tinting effect for all of these for all of the characters in the background. So you can see that, you know, there's kind of a purplish hue to the ink that all right, bye Devin. Thanks for stopping by. It was a pleasure. I hope you get to do so again soon. That's it. Uh, dee, 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 dee. So yeah, so yes, as you can see, I have a purplish tinted line for like the background characters. So I want to make the colors there purplish, or like at least purple tinted as well. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and get all of the proper colors on this my foreground character here, and some tool for the big instances. It, for like the big swaths of color, the bucket tool is good. But for some of these more finer, closer in detail kind of things, I do want to keep using the brush. Let's see. I'm noticing some, okay, other colors that I want to use here. So gonna drop some white in there, and boop, boop, boop. You can't see it because it's, you know, like white on what up. Nah. Boop, boop. So here and here and here and there. All right. So back on track. All right. Now the character has this kind of swash, his this sash shape from here down. So we're going to kind of fill that in. And also this gold color has got a very interesting hoodie. So I'm gonna plunk that there. Yeah, I'm gonna plunk that color there. And so yeah, so a bit of bandwidth at the moment is going to be dedicated to uh, comparing or making sure, looking at the reference and making sure I'm getting the colors in the right places. That's the kind of attention to detail I bring to the table. purple sleeves. Yeah, that looks right. Boop. Again, so gonna zoom in here. Hope we can see it. So yeah, right there, you can see that little white pixely thingy sticking through. So I'm gonna take my brush, clean that up, and just go around the edges, kind of looking for stuff like that. Just kind of touching it up where I'm just kind of touching it up wherever it appears, and being mindful of that kind of thing. All right, so now boop boop. All right, the seal, create a line there, block that part off, and there we are. And boop. And then his sash has these little things. Yeah, just I'm gonna use the selection tool to kind of block that off so that I can create this kind of outline along the sides. This kind of a trim, I guess, along the sides. And then going to, I like to use this kind of blue-gray color for kind of silvery metal bits. So I'm going to go boop, 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 and just fill those in. This is actually kind of a fun and another oddly satisfying part where you just go through and boop all of the areas, and then your color shows up there. My daughters have these little paint by numbers thing where you like poke the little pixel square and then like it turns the correct color number, and it's like, again, one of those oddly satisfying things. It's kind of cute. So paint bucket, white, white. All right. Boop. And then we have, looks like he's filled. So now we're going to move to the background and lather, rinse, repeat. I'm going to create another layer. KG flats. I'm going to create another layer because, as I mentioned, I wanted everybody in the background to have like a kind of a purplish tint to them. So I'm going to create another layer because that will make this kind of thing easier to manipulate later. So, and also, as you can kind of see, there is the flat color is kind of overpowering the purple line. So that's going to let me, and having it on another layer is going to allow me to adjust that color so that I can, it's just going to give me the ability to adjust that other layer to make things more this or that, or turn the saturation up or down, or make it lighter or darker. You just a lot of options that you get when you just a lot more control that you have when you put things on a separate layer. Okay, where'd this guy go? There he is. Cool. So yeah, like, and that can be especially tricky when we have characters like this guy who has dark hair, but I don't want to, again, want it to be read as dark hair, but don't want the flat color to overpower the line work. So, okay. And let's see. He also has a lot of purple and gold going on here. And the characters' costumes overall. So, let's see, but I don't want it to be kind of too saturated. So I'm going to kind of move it down here a bit. Okay. So as to create a more unified. Okay, so see, this is kind of what I'm talking about here, is that this purple color that I filled in his cape with is kind of dark and overpowering the. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay. Oh, stand by. I seem to have misplaced my flats, the background flats layer. So, for all you digital folks, this is, okay, no, I'm right on the background flats layer. I'm a dingus. There we go. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Doot, doot, doot. And all right. But yep. Okay, so here's another example. Okay. Here's another example of that fringing. I hope you can see this. Kind of, that I was talking about. So there, as you can see, there's kind of this outline of white around the lines of the very faint, the lighter lines. That happens with the paint bucket. So just gonna take my brush tool and just just kind of go over them and make sure that there's some overlap happening there, as you can see. So, this is nice because you don't really have to be very precise about it. You can just kind of like go around the edge and such. Just so long as you're not, coloring outside the lines. Boop. Boop, boop. Let's see. I'm actually going to see if I can make that a skosh darker. And then, you know what? Why not? That does get close to overwhelming those lines, but I might roll with it. Or I might chicken out. You never know. This part's all about exercising good artistic judgment. So let's see if we want to play with it and see it happen in real time. We're going to pop up the hue saturation control box, and let's see, just raise the lightness here just ever so slightly until it's just until it's where we want it to be. So there you go. Gray pants, gray highlights in the hair, and it does not overwhelm the lighter purple, gray purple line. There you go. Ta-da! How about that? Cool, huh? Yeah, cool. All right. I'm gonna get his chain here, and all right. So the chain is a little bit more tricky and intricate. So I could go through and just kind of very carefully do that, or I could cheat and select the area around it, inverse the selection, and then go whoop right there. So I don't need to be nearly so precise. Gonna do the same over here and up here, where I'm gonna inverse the selection, select the area around it, inverse the selection, and just kind of swoop it up. Swoop it up. That's right. Starting my own slang. Swoop it up, swoopy. And there we are. Boom. Cool. Now, as you can see, or you will see when I show you, he is going to be the last thing for the today. But as you can see, he has this kind of floral print on his vest here. So I'm going to grab that purple that I just showed you, and that I put on his cape, and select his vesticle area. Hee hee. And get that in place. And then, let's see, I have accrued a great variety of brushes in my time. And so I'm going to look through, so currently I'm looking through my plant brushes to see if there's a good one for just such an occasion. Let's see, flowers. Got lots of flowers. Wildflowers? Okay, maybe. And let's, you know what? Let's play around. So I got this flower brush, and okay, that's all right. And wildflower clusters, and these are more geared towards placing like flowers in like a kind of a landscape kind of thing. So maybe not exactly what I'm looking for. But I also have a brush called Leaves and Clover. Let's give that a shot. All right, maybe. And clovers, maybe. Little plants. Oh, there you go. I could do like so. And that kind of looks like it could be a cool pattern for his vest. Gonna keep that one in mind. Let's see, plants. Let's try plants too. Yeah, also good. Little dense for our purposes, I think. Oh, I like that one. Oh, when was that one? That was plant 3, wild plant. That one's good too. All right, I think I'm going to go with this one. And so I'm going to just kind of create these little lines here. Basically, I'm just kind of did a little swoopy line, and I'm going to do the create the pattern by kind of just kind of following those lines. And again, this is one of those things where you kind of have to pay attention to how, you can't just trust it. You kind of have to pay attention to how it's actually looking. You can't just trust the machine. You have to actually use your art brain and your art mind. And there you go. Hey, that looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. All right. So, good progress today, kids. I think that is where we're going to have to put a pin in it for today, though. That will be the project for next week. Oh, I said next week, but I am actually, unfortunately, not going to be able to do the live stream next week, as I will be in the aforementioned Bourbon City Steam Con in Louisville, Kentucky. You can't say Kentucky, you got to say Kentucky. All right. And I'll be sure to come back with my foghorn leghorn accent in place. So, next live stream will be not next Friday, excuse me, but the Friday afterwards. Yep. Sorry. Hey, I'm back. So Friday the 15th. Sorry, I had to check the calendar there. Friday the 15th will be the next live stream. I hope to see you then. If you enjoyed hanging out with me, if you enjoyed the content that I create, the Canon Evangel and Impure Blood, I sure would appreciate it if you became a Patreon patron or a Substack subscriber. It goes a long way towards making what I make possible, and you get all kinds of rewards and bonuses like free Patreon, like Patreon cartoons, speed drawings, early access to all my comic pages, like just there's just so many bonuses. You should totally check out the Patreon. The Patreon. And also, the Kickstarter for the Canon Evangel Chapter 6 is currently live and rolling. So, if you've been enjoying the Canon Evangel pages, you get sent to your inbox every Monday. I would, go support the Kickstarter. It helps make everything possible. So, like I said, the next live stream will be on May 15th. And thank you all for tuning in today. And until then, be good, but not too good. Toodaloo. All right. Awkward fumbling around until there we go.